ready?
Agreed.
Okay. All right. I'd like to open this public hearing for the Nottingham Zoning Board for October 20th. This would be case 15-003-VA, application from Michael and Rose Catoulis for a request for a variance from the Article 2, Section C1A of the zoning ordinance to permit a lot with 170 foot of frontage where 200 feet is required. This is at tax map 56, lot 4A, 17 Smoke Street in Nottingham, New Hampshire. So the way that this board operates is that we hear from the applicant, and you guys have a big crowd tonight. Yes, certainly. And then we hear from any abutters. And then we close the public hearing.
So what's the first, is there a question?
So
that we
you
have?
you can go with your presentation and, you know, explain your map and your,
I think without going through the questions that we had to answer in the application, if you want me to do that, I'll do that as well.
okay.
But looking at the map, let's see if I've got my bigger map here, that other one's too small for me. I think you have the same map, it's just a
Shrunken.
larger one here. The hardship is the restrictions that we have based on the parameters we have from one property to the other. So we're looking for the variance on the frontage, the 200 feet of frontage. One interesting thing, I don't know if it makes any sense, is that as you go back, you can see you actually pick it up where the house is going to be at. Where the house is going to be located, it's going to be further back.
So are you looking to build on the lot in Nottingham?
Yes.
And the house and the shed that we see here is existing in Epping?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And that's currently where you live?
Yes.
We're on the other side there's the house on the other side of the shed.
Yeah, okay. And so you want to build another house
This is going to be our retirement home, so
Oh.
yes.
right next
Yeah,
door?
right next door.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we have a family member going to take our house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our oldest son just got married
So we
and
go to a smaller
Yeah.
place that we built.
So are you guys looking to subdivide or just build a second house
Well,
on the same?
we're hoping that it's considered grandfather, the lot, and it's a matter of how that process gets approved by you guys.
All right, so the one thing that I would say is I went to a workshop on grandfathering.
Yeah.
And grandfathering is for a use that existed before zoning, but since this is an empty lot,
Right.
it wouldn't be considered grandfathered. It's subject to all current zoning regulations. At least that's my interpretation.
Well,
But it
yeah,
is a lot of record.
but Paul
Paul
sent you in, right? Because
Paul
he's,
talked to us and he said it was a lot of record.
right, I would say it was a lot of record. I don't understand why you're here even, but,
Right,
That's-
Well, because
had that
it has
question.
less than 200 feet.
no,
in
but
Nottingham.
it's already an existing lot. I mean, it was made, how long, when was this, did this go prior to our zoning?
I don't know, what did we come up with, Joanne, on that? Do you remember?
where it was in the
That Paul said,
60s, I think.
but the.
Right, so I don't see why it doesn't, why you're even here, you know, this is an existing lot of record.
It's an
Because it-
existing lot of record, that's what we believe.
That's what I think.
That was my first reaction too, Terry, but I think that Paul sent them in here because
Right.
even though it's a lot of record, it doesn't have 200 feet of frontage.
Right.
It has 170.
Yes, certainly, John.
Okay, so Mr. Coley actually didn't send them in here, the planning board did.
Yeah,
They went
that's
to the
right.
planning board with a conceptual, because there was how do we handle it, it's such an unusual case. And the planning board feels that it would be appropriate to have at least a record that they came for a variance and had it passed, or whatever you choose to do.
Right.
To show that the town recognizes that it's an unusual case.
Right.
And that it was a previous lot of record, or current lot of record, with the lacking frontage for Nottingham. However, it was formed that way.
So it's a non-conforming lot
Of
that's
record.
already existing.
Exists.
Much like our protected lots.
Right.
Right.
So the only thing that I'm missing on the map is there a frontage measurement? I don't know if it's too small for me to see, it's my eye.
170, isn't the frontage
Well, it's
170?
listed as 170, but I don't see it on the map. The distance from the corner pin in Nottingham to the town line along the road frontage.
You know, I don't see it either, but I,
Okay,
Where we got the measurement from was our tax map.
yeah, I think that's
okay.
where we went.
And that lists that dimension as 170?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We don't have a dimension on the back, do we? I mean, not,
No,
okay, that's fine. We're really,
Application.
okay,
And the acreage on the lot in Nottingham?
5.6 acres?
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
I can't see it on this map. I figured it must be here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's on the application. Yeah, it wasn't on the map. It might be on the map.
Oh, it is on the application.
Yeah.
No, which one I'm based on, yeah, which one? Article 5.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have, I mean, the only thing that would be of concern to me, and it's minor, is I'm sure you're working with a builder perhaps, or your sideline.
When you say sideline, you mean the?
Where do you propose to put the building? Is it,
We're gonna meet with, you know, the guidelines, I think it's, what is it, the minimum requirement?
minimum is 50 feet from the
Right.
road?
All right, we're looking at, from the road, we're gonna be more than 50 feet back, okay? Yeah, we're gonna be 80-some feet back, just the garage, where the garage ends, the house is even further back.
Okay. And then from your sidelines?
From the sidelines, we're looking at 20 feet,
Right.
Okay.
all right, just over 20, 22, 24 feet. It'll be over,
It's a non-conforming lot, so you are,
I'm
you
sorry.
probably, it's non-conforming, so you probably do meet the 20-foot setback for the.
Right. And it's in a, you know, when we realize you can see the drop off too, that we have there, we have to still perk, go through all the perk, but we think we're gonna be very comfortable based on, on the other side of that, we had a lot of sand, so we think we're gonna be able to perk with no problem there.
Good.
What was the dug well? Was that on there from previous?
The dug well, yeah, I mean, I'll put an artesian on mine, but the dug well, actually, it's needed for the house.
For the house, the existing house in Epping?
For our house in Epping.
Okay.
That's the old Rollins farm, if you guys,
Yeah, that's where all the
Very
Rollins
familiar
is.
with the area.
Yeah.
I used to live on High Road, which is
not far away.
not far at all. I used to drive that road a lot.
Yeah, no, we've been there 30-some years now,
1983.
83, so we've seen, you guys have probably seen a lot of changes on that. But we are looking at making sure that well he has access to that well, otherwise he wouldn't have.
No, I just wondered if there had been a house on that lot or no, it wasn't.
No.
That was
No,
just.
it's just
that
how
one.
they
Yep.
did it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a funny spot. You mean, you got Epping, Lee, Nottingham all meet.
Maybe they doused
They all
it.
meet right there.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Maybe they didn't know where the line was, too.
Probably just slid
Yeah,
over.
because it's so close.
Yeah.
they probably thought it was close enough.
They were
Right.
thinking about the future.
Okay. Anything else? So,
No, unless, I kind of, I mean, I could go through what I said here, but I think it's kind of following your lead. You guys are the ones that I want to make sure I can answer if there's any questions that you had.
It's a Class 5 road.
It's a Class 5.
yeah.
Which is the same as Epping, right? Is Epping still, even though it's paved, it's still Class 5, right?
It was actually a question I was asking.
Oh, I don't know.
It says here on your map, somebody wrote in Class 5. I don't know if that was.
You know what, I think that one
It's
time.
different
I don't
handwriting.
think that's been changed with the upgrade. Or at least it was upgraded in Epping, and maybe it's changed on the Epping side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that's, yeah, the Epping side says Class 5 Rollins Road.
I'm sure it's the same in
It's the
the,
same width and, you know, one's paved and the other one's not. So we're going from, well, we finally got a paved road, now we're going back to the dirt road. So,
When we first moved there, the road was not very wide, it was very narrow all the way through, so, yeah.
and now it's paved in Epping and not,
It's right
And
there.
not
You'd be
in
amazed at how many people, when they
Nottingham.
get right to that spot, it's like they get petrified. When they get the dirt road, especially the motorcyclists, so that's it's a transition. You see people slowing down or either going too fast and then wanting to slow down.
Yeah.
I never-
And does Rollins Road cross Old Nottingham Road?
No, they run parallel. One's on,
They're parallel.
where they
Right,
come,
and
where
you
they
just
come, they
come
go
out
around like
to
an
it.
island.
Oh,
And they come back together and they go back down towards Nottingham. So they're kind of separate. We used to be Old Nottingham.
Do you know Jeff Hoey? Jeff Hoey?
I think I do,
He
yeah.
lives way up a long road by some water, by that old barn that used to be on Old Nottingham Road.
Right.
I always thought that road was the old Rollins Road.
The Rollins Road, its history was that when the town of Nottingham changed it to Rollins, you guys did, a number of years ago. Epping was calling then that road, from Old Nottingham, my road, they now called it Center Road. And I said, hey, it's crazy, our house, because we're living in the Rollins farm, I agreed with you guys, the town here said, let's call it Rollins. We debated that for 3 months, and I just kept writing on my mail, Rollins Road, because we have the Rollins family, we felt a little bit history there that goes with the road. They finally changed the Epping side to Rollins, so we finally got the Rollins name, put it on our side, which is, you know, they were there going back to the witch hunts, when they first
Wow.
came up to the northeast.
They say that's where all the Rollinses come out of.
You look at the graveyards.
They're all from that house.
Oh my gosh.
Rich-
I don't think I need to ask if there's any butters. The audience is empty.
You know, they all came by asking us, and we told them, oh, no problem at all. We didn't have any issues with our neighbors at all.
Good.
And so we don't, the only neighbor might have trouble down the road might be my son.
Especially with that well being on your property,
That's
right?
And I might have an issue if we have to figure out what to do with that chicken coop that's close to the property line too. So, but other than that, no issues.
So the only thing I have a question about, looking through your application, the unnecessary hardship question 5B,
That's answered strangely.
5B,
explain if the criteria in subparagraph A are not established and deemed to exist if and only if owing to special conditions. So the,
I probably didn't understand it correctly.
okay,
I think that's really what you're looking at. Maybe, you know,
so I'm guessing that Epping has similar laws to us with a 200-foot of frontage.
doesn't do.
They do? Okay, so,
Right.
but it's, you're looking to reside completely in Nottingham. It's really not an issue for what's going on in Epping. So it's
Exactly.
not, it's not a mixed, the way you're subdividing,
Right, I think
it's clean.
it's clean.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that needs an answer.
It didn't need an answer, I gave you one.
It's fine.
Actually, to get a variance, you do have to have an answer.
Any questions amongst folks on the board?
No, I'm very comfortable with the
Clear.
request. Actually, it's a lot of record.
Yep, non-conforming lot,
It's
and
pretty darn good road frontage for a lot of record.
And I agree that there's a hardship in that the way the town line goes, it just cuts it funny.
Yeah, 'cause you've
It's
got
not
the-
very much.
That's the town line, that's the county line, that's, you're in Stratford, you're moving to, oh, you're in Rockingham County, Epping, that's right too, Epping's the
Right.
It's Lee
Yeah.
over there that's in Stratford.
Nottingham and Nottingham County?
Nottingham's in Rockingham, but Lee is in
Lee's
Stratford,
Lee's
yeah.
in
Okay, I forgot, that's right. So it's right across the other county, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, across the street. Yep. So, I guess I'll make the motion since it's an easy one. I make a motion that we accept the case as stated with no conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Unanimous? So you do know that there's a 30-day appeal period. I don't see a lot of people beating down the doors, so
So you're
you're
right.
not gonna build within 30 days, so you're all
Oh,
good.
no.
No, we're waiting till the weather gets nice and we get everything else ready for the, for the building down the road. We still have to probably meet with Paul and talk about the, what we're looking at doing, getting a building permit, all those things that go with it. But from a town standpoint, it's amazing how we come in here versus with Epping. We watched Epping evolve and grow dramatically. over the years. You guys are still, it's almost like stepping back in time with you guys, which is good.
Which we don't mind.
We don't mind, so just so you
Thank you.
understand that.
Your
It's a good-
taxes
it's a
will
good
go
thing.
down too.
Oh, yeah, that's true too, yeah, but. I
Bring your
mean,
horse, we don't like fast traffic.
But look at the difference between this town and what just happened. And our taxes, did go up, they didn't go down.
No, they didn't.
They
Yeah.
didn't go down.
That's why everybody says, oh, we need businesses in Nottingham, but you,
Depends
Epic,
which
if
business.
If you're not gonna have any, if it's gonna stay like this, it's actually more conducive for living. But I realize there's gonna be growth. Here we are looking for, joining it too, but, maybe it's, not on the, we call it the, main road. You're not gonna have that kind of growth anyway,
Right.
hopefully.
You're in a pretty safe spot, you're surrounded by
Yeah,
that wonderful wetland.
yes.
Right. We have a
Yes.
beautiful view. I don't know if anyone, you guys ever go out and look at the properties and that?
Sometimes.
Okay, well, it's a nice view. We have a nice, as we open that up a little bit, it shows you everything behind is wooded quite a ways, which is really nice. So,
And we're planning to set the house so that we're just viewing out to the back, and get the best view of it.
So thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
very welcome.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
All right, so.
Good luck.
Move that we
Thanks.
close the public hearing on case 15003 VA, and we look at the minutes for June 9th. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Good luck with your building.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome, take care.
Excuse me, do you guys want fax forms to fill out or not?
I don't think it's necessary. It's not very complicated.
The notice of decision will be sufficient.
I don't even
It's
know
not
why they
contentious.
came in, really. It was a lot of record,
I'm with you,
period.
Terry.
Yeah,
Quite a debate, wasn't it?
In fact,
I know,
I
it
started
was-
writing a
It
letter to them, like,
was
why are they?
If it's a non-conforming lot,
It
though.
costs them money.
I know it cost
range,
them
and
money
they
to come
didn't
in.
want
Yeah, it was a
to
complete
recognize that,
non-conforming
though.
lot.
I kind of think it, because it does violate the zoning ordinance, it's really our jurisdiction to say.
Right.
Yes.
But it's,
Yeah, But it.
But it's not conforming, it's existing, it's.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, and you're better off safety-wise
And,
just
and I
coming
think that
in.
was the way they, 'cause I was an alternate, not a voting member that night, but it was more of just let it go there and let them give them, the blessing or not on whether or not it is, so.
Right.
Make it clean cut, and that way if and when they sell in their future.
Yeah,
then
they
there's
gotta-
proof that
Right.
it's been gone, it went through the roads. that it
Correct.
needed to.
Right.
Right.
In 2015 and not something on a whim from 1960.
Right.
Right.
So, I don't know, it makes sense.
It was a tough decision.
Hopefully they'll get along with their son and they won't have to sell.
Right.
Yep, that's right.
They have somebody to watch the grandchildren.
Indeed.
Any commentary on meeting minutes from case 15002 VA on June 9th? Gosh, that was a long time ago. Is that our last meeting? Wow.
Our last hearing, wow.
No commentary, then I vote we move to accept meetings of June 9th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One abstention, since I wasn't here. All right, only other piece of news I have under the other category is I've been attending the legal series that's been going on. Last week was grandfathering the law of non-conforming uses and vested rights. Was it interesting? As municipal law series go. And I've asked Joanna to take the 2-page cheat sheet, scan it in, and forward it to you guys.
Okay.
So it's basically a quick walkthrough over, 2 hours of law.
Okay, good.
So that's coming towards you guys. If anyone wants to borrow my book to read it, they're welcome.
I would like to at some point, but it would sit on my desk for now. while
All right. Well,
we're
let me know if you're,
Renovating.
if you're interested. To me, there was a lot of stuff that really points to the planning board, and a few pieces that, for me, were questions that I had. So I'll probably sit down, go through the book, and ask those questions of Paul. And if there are things that I think really need clarifying, then I'll just bring them to the planning board or to Paul, or to you guys, but I don't think much was for us.
Okay.
All right. Great.
I actually went to a municipal meeting on Raising New Hampshire a little over a month ago, and talked a lot about the growth issues in towns, and which I'm not sure how many applied to Nottingham, but they, the emphasis was on incremental growth, grow slow, and then just any larger, subdivisions and things, just try to weigh the long-term cost versus long-time benefits, the town supporting it versus taxes. And I think it was aimed a little bit more towards commercial growth versus residential, but I think we're moving slow enough,
Yeah.
as these folks pointed out.
Joanna, what's the next meeting? Tomorrow night I have another one. Did you remember the title of that one?
You and I are both going to it,
Oh,
and it's, the agriculture one, but I don't recall the exact title.
okay. Excellent.
That'd be interesting,
Yeah.
because agriculture has some special considerations given.
Right, and that's what it's based on, is close consideration. Did you all get a chance to look at the, definition changes that we're proposing to put on the ballot in March?
No, was that part of the last attachment from you? Okay, I'll take a look.
So, yeah, if you guys could, that would be appreciated. Most of them, you were part of the subdivision regulation.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I've seen
So,
those.
Yeah, most of those are what we're involved in, so.
Okay, yeah, that's a non-issue for me.
Okay.
But the
So if
rest
there
of
is an issue, please definitely jot that to me, because we're gonna be, going over that again next week and hopefully setting up our, public hearing regarding that.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I'm good.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Wow, 20-minute meeting.
Sometimes that happens.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Have a very efficient town government.